Things are all tied up here, ladies and gentlemen, at 1-1 apiece for these two teams. Crowd's getting a bit restless as we're about to find out who will be the second player here for KT Rolster. Feeling zest.
I'm feeling zest.
Oh, we're right.
Oh!
Isn't it great to be right?
It feels so damn good. And not too much of a surprise. It is PvP on Deadwing. Big ass map, good for Protoss. They have two amazing Protosses up their sleeves, KT Rolsters. So it's no real surprise that one of them comes out here.
Yep. Zest looking happy here, looking ready to go. He's got not the best record this season, but he's very confident in the Protoss versus Protoss. And I feel like the Protoss versus Protoss games we see him lose oftentimes are the ones where he does some sort of proxy or tries to do something a bit crazy or weird. But when you see him play on a late game map like Deadwing, he usually comes out on top.
Yeah, especially these days. You know, earlier this year I would argue otherwise because we did see him go down a creator and whatnot pretty horribly, but he's fixed that since then.
And I mean, even if you go look back at his like maze games that he played last year on that big crazy weird map that should have never been in the pool, he had some trouble transitioning in the late game on that map. But SOS probably going to try to throw him a curveball, just like we saw last game. That's what SOS does.
I don't think it would be a secret nexus this time. I feel like it might be a little too obvious.
Yeah, and well, in PvP, it's like super obvious.
It's glaringly obvious in PvP.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll happen. But, he's probably got some other stuff up his sleeve, especially for Protosses, because there are two big heavy hitters on this team.
I'm thinking maybe Blink Stalker aggression into an expand with a Robo behind it, something like that is probably what we're going to see.
So you think it's the super standard?
Well, but maybe like a bit of a more aggressive Blink Stalker than like just poking.
Possibly, yeah. Could even be DTs, that's something a little out there, but something we see often as well.
Absolutely possible. Well, Moonglade, it's time to find out which one of these teams is going to take the lead. A win here brings all the momentum forward as we move into that third game right now. SOS versus Zest, Protoss versus Protoss on one of our biggest maps we've had in StarCraft 2 in contemporary times. Deadwing, the Protoss map here for Pro League. This is the round 2 semifinals.
Don't stop, Wolf.
And we're going into this one in just a moment here. The fans are restless. They're voting. They're putting their votes in now.
Just start counting down. 45, 44, 43. It's going to happen soon, guys.
It is going to happen soon. These two players are ready. They're in the booth, already spamming their keys. They're not even chatting because I can look at the chat and
the game's not even started yet, and these guys are spamming keys.
Yep.
I wonder if those wristbands help out Zest at all.
Maru, he gets some help from those, but it looks like we're finally going to start here, guys. SOS versus Zest. Top left, red, SOS.
Bottom left, blue, Zest, KT.
Keeping it simple.
Glasses, chisel toss. Handsome.
So handsome.
Deliciously handsome. Not sure about the hair today. I'll forgive it.
Yeah. He was in a rush getting ready for this. Very important match.
Still ridiculously handsome.
All sorts of fans everywhere trying to see what they can win here.
Giant dice.
Oh, no, you're on camera. Oh, my God.
Multiple giant dice. I actually want one of them.
Yeah? Are you a gambling man? Oh, look at him trying to be cool rolling the dice like that on camera.
Thinks he's a player.
Well, he's got a lot of girls around him, so.
Thinks he can roll the dice.
He knows if he carries the dice. Is that why you wanted one of those dice, Moonglade?
I wanted to roll the dice.
You want to roll the dice?
It actually looked very comfy. I might want to
just sit on one? Or use it as a pillow?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this 50-50.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
It's like 2 people voted.
I doubt it, man. It was like, this is on TV. Like,
that's true, man.
That's actually insane.
It'd be great if we saw the numbers as well.
It could be like rounded, like from like 49.8 and then 51.0 or something. They just kind of rounded it.
Like half people votes and stuff.
Like, they can't get the whole thing, like, exactly right? You know what I mean?
I gotcha. They could.
I guess they could.
I thought you meant, like, there's, like, 80% of a vote or something. I'm like,
no.
I don't know how that happens.
But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
IEM Champions match. And I'm excited to see how this one is gonna play out, because Zest is, again, the bit more standard player in this matchup. Usually he likes to kind of play things as they are, and is very much a aggressive player. Like, he makes aggressive choices. He's the guy who's going to decide to blink forward. He's very confident, as I was saying earlier, in this matchup, and it really shows. Whereas SOS in this matchup is known for making good decisions, but also just kind of how he is in all matchups, known for taking big risks and doing crazy things. Like you were talking about DTs.
Yeah.
Absolutely feasible.
I mean, it's also the problem for for SOS in this matchup is there's a lot less room for innovation and kind of risky, crazy sort of stuff than in every other matchup. So he has to play a little bit more straight up, which I think is definitely going to favor Zest as the more solid player overall.
Well, 2 gates for both players. A lot of pretty girls in the crowd, not too shy. Not as shy as the girls are rolling the dice.
There for Zest, no doubt.
No doubt.
Oh! Never mind.
No, it was a regular pylon.
I was like, wait a second. SOS trying for the proxy and base pylon. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, that's out. That hasn't happened in a few years.
If only.
I remember that one map, Dream Altar, the worst for PvP. So easy to hide pylons in there, and it was always 4-gate versus 4-gate every game.
I was trying to find what that sign about Zest, the IM finals is about, but they never played.
Yeah, I know Zest, rather SOS versus Hero comes to mind for that. So, make that fan of the sign.
You're wrong. You have no passion.
I guess maybe just talking about SOS being the champion, it might have just been like a kind of a bad English sign, but yeah, Twilights for both players.
Well, I mean, Zest was the... Oh, okay. Champions from both.
Okay.
So Zest with the champion and SOS
That's right. That makes sense.
All right, so he does have actually way more passion than we give him credit for.
No, I feel bad now.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, he has more passion than us. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's got the true passion.
Well, Stalker versus Stalker. First shot goes to Zest here, but he knows there's reinforcements possible. A Sentry's built up a ton of energy, but hasn't used that Hallucinate yet. I'm not sure what it's doing up there. That's a lot of gas. Definitely going to want to get some info with that.
It's going to pump out a hallucination.
There it is.
/ hologram, that's what I like to call it. Because sentries cannot hallucinate.
I wonder if she's really from Brooklyn, that girl we just had on camera there.
Maybe. Could be.
Valdez is from New York.
Yeah, man. It's got that New York accent.
Yeah.
I'm walking here.
Oh, wow.
Oh!
Nexus Canada hallucinate.
Zest. Being played like a fiddle. But he is warping in a lot of Stalkers, so he wants to be aggressive. He's like, well, you know what? He made an Oracle, so I'm going to try killing with Stalkers.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of in the position of like, oh, I just can't. I can't afford to warp any units at home. I'm just going to keep attacking. Little does he know that there's a sentry and units at a concave at the top of the ramp, and his opponent's blink is also about to finish. To attack into this directly would be a mistake. As soon as he realizes this, he's going to want to get his own Nexus up.
I think he actually changed his mind because he did see the hallucination get blown up by the Nexus cannon. So he's like, oh, okay, it was fake, so this actually more than meets the eye. So he, he scouts with the Nexus, he scouts with the natural, sees nothing, so he turns around, takes his own.
And SOS gets a scout out and sees that Nexus, which is really important. He's going to deny this probe now, but he knows he's been scouted. And he leaves the base, a little blink there, leaves the base here to make sure there's no, we're looking for those pylons that he's warping in. He checks behind there, makes his own Nexus, is looking for that pylon, but it's in a pretty good spot actually down here. I don't know if it'll end up being scouted.
Yeah, that's a really good spot.
It's really nice because it just gives him so much flexibility. He can like warp over the wall even if he has vision.
So that's going to have to be a little defensive here. He's got that Immortal on the way, that first Immortal. Should be out before anything gets near his base there. And it doesn't look like SOS is even going to try.
So now we're going to go into that phase of Pros vs. Pros where you can almost draw a line of symmetry. In fact, you can right now literally draw a line of symmetry between the production tabs because they're both going to go into adding a few more Immortals to be safe. Then it's going to be all about greed. As sometimes mirror matchups, especially this one, ZVZ to a slightly lesser extent, end up being, okay, when is he going to his Bay? Because the Charge Zealot Archon comps are kind of a bit obsolete right now. The Tempest got nerfed really, really hard, so we don't really see Tempest in this matchup anymore, and all the pro gamers in Korea are saying you will never see that unit again in this matchup.
Very rarely. Very, very rarely. I think it still has possibly a place. I believe, I can't remember the last time I saw it. It might have been the other day in Korea, actually. Like, we did actually see a Protoss go for it, but it kind of just was glaringly obviously how ineffective they have become compared to what they used to be.
Yeah.
So
this is just kind of going to be like this graph I tweeted yesterday, the Pros vs. Pros you saw, where it's just like everything just kind of ramps up at the same. There's one big battle at the end, and then that is how the game is decided.
It's going to be War of the Worlds style Mass Colossus with a giant arc, and whoever wins that wins the game usually, especially in these positions, because there's no real counter-attacking unless it's from a Warp Prism. It's simply 2 giant chokes for both sides, and they can defend everything from there.
Could actually fight this. Okay, well, he brings the rest of his army too. He could definitely take a fight there. He's actually looking to maybe, come up here and pick a Stalker or 2 off and get out.
Yeah, maybe apply some pressure. Take the Xel'Naga, maybe make SOS think something's going to be happening soon.
He's getting his Bay first, slightly. The Forge was a little bit faster for SOS, I think, but it actually turns out they just make their +1 at the same exact time, so it doesn't really matter. The Bay also, that timing doesn't end up mattering here either.
No, nothing too really different for it to be serious enough, I guess. They're essentially on even footing right now. Did you see maybe 1 extra Immortal so far for SOS, but besides that, not a big deal. I think it's going to come down to who's going to be taking the next Nexus, and Zest is going to lead the way with that. And it actually could trigger something from SOS, whether he wants to go for an attack or simply just take his own.
Sure.
It's going to be applying that pressure at the very least.
Absolutely. And he's going to see this right away here. Comes down with that Hallucination Scout. Blink going to try to deny some more vision, like about maybe how many gates he has and stuff like that, but the big scout of the 3rd base is already underway. And he just reacts by adding his own. He sees the timing is pretty similar, so can poke a little bit, but attacking into this 3rd base as he takes his own is going to be kind of tough. He just wants to maybe try to siege it up a little bit.
Yeah, just apply pressure, maybe force more units out than Zest would want to make, Try and force some more extra warp-ins that he might want to use for Colossus or upgrades. So we do see 3 more gateways be added for Zest.
Yeah. The same probably to be done for SOS in just a moment, I guess.
Want to do it soon, the production's important, especially when going to a 3rd base like this. It really ramps up.
It's really important. Okay, now he's adding 1. He's going to want more than that. I'd be like shift clicked his probe or something, because he definitely wants to add a lot more than that. Look at his money, too. Okay, I think he just ended up adding those. What did he add? Well, I guess he just got another Colossus in charge. Okay.
Next step, I guess.
And they're both at the exact same point in the +2. Charge not added yet for Zest, but these timings are not really going to line up to big advantages for these players. Like, the next step here is, do I want to sacrifice some Robo time to build a Warp Prism or not? Ooh, a Stargate. Void Rays still work okay.
I guess it's going to have to be for Tempests, right? Like, I think at some point we're going to see a Fleet Peak and go down, because would they really add Void Rays?
Void Rays are tough to make work in competitive play, so I'm thinking probably is going to be Tempest, but both of these pros have said, especially Zest, I think said in interviews, like, very clearly, like, you will never see Tempest again. I'm just kind of surprised to see him kind of change his mind here.
Well, it's 2 Stargates from Zest, yeah. So, I mean, at the same time, though, we haven't seen a Fleet Beacon go down for either, so it could just be Void Rays.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait and see, because he can't make the Fleet Beacon until that Stargate's done anyways.
That is a good point, actually. That is a good point.
So we'll see in just a second. Okay, Void Rays, I had a feeling, man, because this is like how my PvPs go, okay, at low level, wolf level on the ladder, where you're just like, okay, we're just going to sit back, and then I'm like, I'm going to deny scouts and go Void Rays, and he won't know. But the only thing that really beats Void Rays is Charge Zealot Archon with, like, sometimes even more Void Rays.
Look at this Fleet Beacon from Zest. So he is going to be going for those Tempests. And it's going to be against Void Rays.
But SOS only doing 1 Stargate Void Rays, so it's not going to be a ton of Void Rays added into the mix.
No.
And he's just going to continue his Colossus production. I wonder how this is really going to play out. This is actually becoming, I mean, it's very similar to most of our PvPs, and that's very slow-paced and not a lot of aggression is happening, but at least compositions that we're starting to see built here are somewhat unique. Checking again with the Hallucination. What are you building on those Stargates? Sees there's an Oracle on the way, which kind of hints at Tempest. And he sees the Void Ray production, and Psystorm is on the way for SOS in reaction to this.
Interesting.
Psystorm going to be good against large clumps of units and also slow Tempest if he can chain those together. Psystorm also great against large numbers of Void Rays.
Tempest has a lot of HP though. I guess it's not a bad thing, especially if he gets some drops in. You know, he wipes out the probe lines and whatnot.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like these big hitting armies, these Tempests are going to be launching shots from so far away that I feel like it's going to be inferior.
He didn't see any Tempest, so he might actually be thinking his opponent's just going to try to outmax him in Void Rays.
I don't think he actually saw the... Yeah, he didn't actually see the Fleet Beacon either.
So maybe he thinks it's going to be Void Rays, which Psystorm is actually really good against Void Rays because they all stack up. And oh, these Templar need to get made into Archons.
He does not want to be doing that. He's going to have to do that one as well.
He really didn't want to because those Tempests had those High Templar had so much energy.
What a sick move. That was so much gas.
So much wasted there.
Yeah, and I feel like SOS had a window here where he could have maybe tried for something while these Tempests were in the making because it's such a big investment, but Zest has had the whole time just sit here, make the army the perfect army he wanted to make, and now it finally has been scouted. 4 already on the map.
Starts a Void Ray instantly to add his 4th. I wonder if he'll add a second Stargate. He is. I think he has to add 2 more Stargates if he really wants to do this.
I guess he's just going to try and bulldoze it because
this is so weird.
He cannot get picked apart like this. And look at this.
Oh, that Dark Shrine needs to be canceled, I think, maybe.
Yeah, Zest has done this so much in the past. Look at that move.
This is that confidence I was talking about before.
This has actually got him killed before as well. You remember? Like he just wasted his Stalkers like this. And the Stalkers can't blink the other way, so he might just lose them all.
But you know what? This is not the end of the world. It loses him his aggressive potential, and this is very expensive, and he didn't get much out of them. But he wants to remax with better units anyways. Like having these Stalkers in his comp is not going to be as good as having more Archons. Because Stalkers actually can't beat Void Rays. Archons can, but Stalkers really they're just like tickling at the bottom there, and they just get blown up so fast.
I guess he's just simply going to add more Tempests, and that's going to be probably decent enough if you can get some picks on them.
You know what's weird to me about this is he doesn't have a single Archon at all. It's gonna be a matter of can SOS get underneath those Tempests or not.
That's really what it's all about, right? Yeah. It's going to be all about where they engage and how Zest maneuvers his army, because it's not an army that just sits there and fights. It's an army that shoots from afar and retreats and finds like very favorable positions, which is why we do see some cannons go up the front as well.
Yeah, such a good choice. There's that 3rd Stargate I was suggesting earlier being added here for SOS as well. If he really wants to overpower with Voids, he's going to need a lot of Voids, and he's going to need to trade some of his Zealots because he's maxed out right now. He has so much money to spend, but no way to spend it while he's at 200 out of 200 supply.
Yeah, really nice revelation there. And this Mothership completely out of position, but Tempests aren't close enough.
That was scary, though, for just a moment there. Looks like he didn't have vision. And yeah, just a little bit too far away.
Yeah.
5 Voids, nowhere near enough. They're actually almost useless in that small number.
No, I mean, we got 10 Tempests here. They already got +1. Now we see Zest getting rid of Zealots for Archons finally.
We did see a few Zealots thrown away for SOS to add 2 more Void Rays. Both players going to be at +1, and those Archons are so important. You can't have an Archonless comp. I was surprised he was even building something like that.
They're just simply too tanky, right?
Yeah, they're just too good. They do so much splash damage as well. 1 Void Ray is not enough to defend this base. With +3 Zealots, I think even with the Cannoneer, he's going to lose this.
His army comes around just in time.
Barely. But this actually pulls him a little bit out of position. He needs to go over here and defend these other Zealots. But this is, again, just giving Zest more freed up supply. Going for the Dark Shrine here. Not going to happen. But freeing up supply to add better units. Or to add Zealots from a different place.
Yeah, look at this. You know, Zealots are going to be doing a bit of run-by. It is a slow army that Zest has made. You know, these Tempests are really immobile compared to a lot of the army choices he could have made.
That 1 Zealot is going to do a lot of damage, actually. With +3?
It actually is.
He needs to get over there and deal with that.
Well, he whooped in 1 Zealot, which is probably going to deal with it.
That'll be fine.
And Zest looks like he might be trying for the picks now. He does have Revelation on this army still, so he can, move forward. He knows exactly where they are. He just can't be caught out. He's got to have a way out of there. And he does have, if he really needs to, he does have that recall.
SOS looks so timid here. He looks like he doesn't know what to do. He moved his Voiders away from his army for a second, like he wanted to try to hide them and come in from the side. He's never going to fight over those Archons. That's never going to work. He needs to come from behind or from the side. Okay, he's moving his Voiders to his edge again, but he's...
Look at this position. This is such a hard place to fight. that I think he's just going to let this base go.
He has to, I think. Okay, he killed all the probes there and just walks away, but these Void Rays need to sneak around the army. That's his only hope of fighting this.
Oh, man, look at this. Look how many
10 Tempest
cannons he's adding as well. He's like adding all these forward cannons. We do see a couple of DTs harass it. That's such a smart move there, you know, getting some buffer. But it looks like SOS going to make his move now.
He has no detection with his army. Those DTs are doing a lot for him here. It's actually doing a ton for him here. A huge Warpman as well in a perfect position to come from the side. Cannons or no, Moonblade. Does he have enough firepower here with those Tempests? I'm not sure.
Oh, I think he does. You know, everything's getting wiped out. The Colossi count got eliminated so quickly.
And now the Stalkers on the ground are just not enough. They're just not enough.
There's not going to be enough. No,
he has so much money, but he can't spend it.
Look at that.
Look at that. 2,800, 2,400. Where are the extra gates? He adds three more Void Rays in the Colossus and 16 Zealots.
There's no way he's getting past this, and we still see Tempest.
16 Zealots can't jump on the Tempest.
Only 2 Tempests died in that whole fight.
No pogo stick upgrade for those Zealots, man. They're not jumping up there, and I don't even know why he's sending them home, to be frank. He should be trying to send them to try base race or something against this slow army.
I guess he's going to try and eliminate the Colossus of what he can. Maybe that's his only way to help deal with this whole army.
There's no way. His Void Rays can't even get out. 16 Stalkers, more.
Oh, man.
Still not enough.
They just do way too much damage. These Tempests are just too tanky, and they just destroy these Stalkers.
I feel like SOS just really had no idea what to do.
Yeah, well, I guess he's under the the thought that Tempests are just useless now, but unfortunately for him, they're completely useful. They're
GG.
fantastic in this late game.
Zest bringing it back. That was a great game. That was just so fun to see these comps develop.
It's very educational too, you know, like this is what happens in late game PvP now that has changed up.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really changed that much, really. I guess it's just a lot of Colossi into that very late game Tempest build.
He was so afraid to engage with his units, and he also, like, there was a moment where he warped in a bunch of Zealots. He started walking them into a counterattack, and he sent them back home, and I feel like Zest was just so confident, and this is why he has the strength of PvP, in my opinion. He's just never afraid to engage. He knows exactly how to move forward. He knows when to pull back, whereas SOS seemed so afraid at so many moments there about what he was supposed to do next. And he, like, added a few more Void Rays, and then he never added enough, Stargates to be able to remax with Void Rays. And then he took an engagement he shouldn't have. Kind of a unfortunate game there for him.
Unfortunate, but he really had a window that he had to, take the advantage of, and he never did. He just sat back and was like trying to make a death ball that might counter Tempest, but never did. So yeah, a lot of inexperience in SOS's army choice, I guess. As we go into King Sejong Station, the next map.
What do you send out here?
It might be Rogue's turn. It might be Rogue's turn. Unless they want another PvP. Maybe
Maru?
Maru or Pure.
I like Maru on this map in TvP.
You like Maru on this map?
Because he's so good at those drops, and his timing attacks at the third base and his control. And I would normally say, like, no, never you want to put a Terran against Zest.